This will be the orientation to our Math 102, Section 21, Nature of Mathematics, Spring 2023 course. I'm Professor Paulin. As in all our courses, you start off by going to the University of Bridgeport site, go to Login, and then go to log into Canvas. Takes a moment. I'm all set up, so I click on Login, and then the courses you are taking at UB will show up here. And I'm doing this in the fall of 2022, so we're using my older course for this, but you scroll down, and this is the course. It'll be the same as we used in the fall for the spring course. You then get to this page where it describes your course, goes over the syllabus. The first thing you want to check out in a course is the syllabus, which goes over the general details of the course. It'll tell where we're meeting, some general background. Now, we don't have a textbook as such, but there is an online ebook that is available, and it goes through the class approach, the flipped classroom. I'll go over that. Participation, attendance, goes over the notebooks, but we'll cover all of that a little later in this presentation. And then it goes over grading. The main thing of grading is the various categories. Notebooks, we have 2 notebooks. That's collectively they're worth 10% of your grade. The homework that you do in regard to the lessons, 25%. We have quizzes based on our lecture that we'll talk about later, 10%. We have 4 tests, each worth 10%, a total of 40, and then the final exam. Now, the interesting thing about all of our tests and quizzes, they are all open notes, quizzes, and tests. So you can use your notes. By having good notes, you should do well on the test. And then this is the point scale as to how many points do you have, tells you your grade. And this is kept as a running average in this program. You would just go to grades and you could actually see your grade anytime throughout the semester. Going down a little further, it shows the modules that we cover. There are 4 modules, and these are the topics. And it's just repeated here. After each topic is completed, we have a paper test. As mentioned above, in this course we will use the flipped classroom model. And you might say, what is that? Well, in the past, quite distant past, I would write on the whiteboard or blackboard the various concepts and lessons, and then you in class would take these notes. Well, in the flipped classroom model, what I've done, and I'll read it with you, you watch and take detailed notes on the PowerPoint lessons of the current topic in your lecture notebook that we provide for you at home. And then in class, you work on your homework. That's the flip part. So instead of doing homework at home, you have to always do some at home. The lesson is given at home or in your dorm. And the nice thing about it is it's a permanent thing. If you're absent, it's there for you. As you are doing it, you can actually go faster or slower. You can pause it, you can rewind, you can view it again, all these are pluses that these notes then can be used on an open notes quiz that we give each lesson, and of course on your test. This is what your lecture notebook looks like, and in the inside page it gives what we will be covering each class. And we can actually see some of the notes that I've taken in the past, just to give you an idea of what they look like. So there is real numbers, our first topic. Now on the right of each page are things that I've taken from the textbook to give you a permanent resource of important items. And then over on the left is a blank page where you'll be taking the notes of the PowerPoint slide video that I made. So there's one page, and here's another page, more notes, and then over on the right, items from the textbook, which are meant to emphasize the topics covered and the kinds of things you should know. Then, based on these notes, this is what a typical quiz would look like. So during the in-class time, using those notes, one of the questions, for instance, would be, what is a synonym for natural numbers? Well, as a check on your notes, these questions were developed, and in the notes we say the synonym for natural numbers were counting numbers, and that's what you would put on the answer spot. What number do we add to natural numbers to make them whole numbers? And on this spot, from the lecture notes, we gave you this as adding a 0. So where are these notes found? Well, we're back to our Canvas page, and over on the left we go down to the menu bar called Modules. Click on that, and then this opens up. And there you see the Flip Classroom videos for Unit 1. By clicking on this, you go to a link. In fact, let's do that. See what the first one looks like. I've clicked on it, and it takes a moment to open. And when it opens, it looks like this, the real numbers. So you would click on the play button, but over here, notice on settings, you can speed it up by going to 1.5 or 2 times faster, or even slow it down. So I'm not going to play it now, but this is where the videos are found.
We'd like to welcome you to our Math 102 Flip
All right, it actually did
Classroom
start,
video
and
lecture series.
that's what it starts off looking like. So once again, you would go to Modules. I'll click on that one more time. And these are where all of the videos are, the flipped classroom lessons that you then put into your lecture booklet. And these are graded. These notebook grades are 10% of your end of term grade. And again, the good deal, all these notes, whether it's homework or lecture notes, can be used on quizzes and tests. Now, at the beginning of class, we give you an access code that will take you to what is called My Lab and Mastering. This is where all the homework is found. And it's opening up now. This is the teacher's page, but the student link would show this, go to My Assignments, and these dates are for the fall course. They'll be updated for the spring course, but these are all the assignments. And let's take a look at one of them as to what they will look like. So you click on one, and I've actually done all of these already, and I can just click on Review and Practice, and it shows that I have done all of these assignments. So let's look at a question here just to see what it's like. And when it opens, it looks like this. And it wants you to determine the ratio and write it in lowest terms. Well, there's the problem, and then there's the answer that I put. Now, I'm not going to go over the solution of that. That's something that we do in the course, but I wanted to show you what the homework is like. And our second notebook is the homework log, where this is also graded. This is what I expect to get a good grade on your notebook, what your homework log should look like. So in lesson 1.1, real numbers, you've written out the question and then given the answer. And in many cases, this is what you would need for full credit. So for instance, if you had number 1, the answer is 8, and that was all, that wouldn't get a very good grade. You're required to write out the question and then give the answer. Remember, these notes can be used on quizzes and tests and very useful. So I've done the first 7 questions of section 1.1 and then going over to the first 8 questions of 1.2. Sometimes there is writing, sometimes it's just numerical calculation. So, in summary, as we wind up, giving you hopefully an idea of what the class is like, what's expected. If you have a question or concern, email me at hpaulin@bridgeport.edu, and I would be happy to reply. I'm Professor Paulin. There's a shot of me taken in our classroom in Dana 130, and we wish you the best.